Welcome to Your Wealth Matters. I'm Janet Kim Singh, Portfolio Manager at Capstone Asset Management. And today, for the first time, I'm joined by my fellow colleague and dealing representative on the private wealth team, Trent Heppner. Trent joined the Capstone team in 2023, and we're happy to have you here. And today, we're actually discussing a commonly asked question: how much income will I need in retirement? Trent, this is such a dynamic and important topic. We won't have time to cover all aspects of this broad topic, but do share with us some considerations.
Retirement is one of those things that is always in the back of our minds. How much do I need to retire? What if I don't have a pension? Will I be able to retire early? How much of my monthly income should I be putting away for retirement? Then you start hearing words like tax-free savings accounts, mutual funds, RRSPs, and stocks and bonds. Where do you start? Well, these options mentioned above are all tools you can use to help save for your retirement. Depending on your situation, you just need to figure out what works best for you. TFSAs and RSPs are both vehicles that can allow you to grow your money in a tax sheltered way while earning interest, and what you invest within them can range anywhere from mutual fund trusts, such as the funds we have at Capstone, or individual stocks and bonds, or stocks and bonds via mutual funds. It's my understanding that both TFSAs and RSPs have been discussed in previous topics, so I'll just say that typically we will see clients availing of RSPs given that they allow you to eventually withdraw the income at a presumably lower tax bracket. Even if you do have a workplace pension, having personal savings can make retirement less stressful and allow you to enjoy your freedom that much more. When it comes to saving for retirement, though, how much you need really depends on a lot of different factors, including age, lifestyle, monthly bills, and such. However, the general person will need a total of between $700,000 and $1 million at retirement, or roughly 70 to 80% of their average pre-retirement income per year. Yet the average Canadian saves amount at retirement is only $280,000.
Wow, that's an interesting fact, Trent. So probably the average Canadian might have some work to do. So I know when clients come to me asking how much money they need to retire, I tend to throw a few questions back in their direction, just in order to get a clearer picture. So for example, will you still have any debts to pay off? Do you have any family you will still need to financially support, whether that be dependent children or aging parents? Do you have a workplace pension? Once these factors have been considered, you then need to consider how your monthly spending on a somewhat fixed retirement income will look compared to how you currently spend your money. Are there expenses you can cut? What income will you need to live the lifestyle that you envision? And that might include traveling or other hobbies. Again, the goal is to explore how expenses could adjust both upwards and even downwards in this next phase. Next, you need to consider what age you would like to retire, because obviously, the sooner one wants to retire, the larger nest egg they will require. Knowing this answer, even just approximately, will estimate how many years you would like to be financially supported by retirement income, and how the total you will need to have saved up. Trent, what would be the next steps?
When calculating your retirement income, it is recommended that you plan for at least 70% of your current income, as I mentioned earlier. It is likely that you will no longer be commuting for work as often, your pre retirement costs should decrease, and you'll be able to live quite comfortably on this amount. This, of course, may not be for everyone, but it can be a good starting place. So, to flesh this out further, the first factor to consider is your current expenses in relation to your current income. If you're barely making ends meet with your current income, it is likely that your reduced retirement income simply won't be enough. It is recommended to start saving at least 10% of your current income into a retirement fund. The younger you start saving, the more you will have when the time comes to retire through the effects of compounding over time. As we mentioned before, the exact amount you need to retire really depends on your lifestyle. With that said, though it's recommended to have around $750,000 saved for retirement if you don't have a pension. That $750,000 must be broken down over the rest of your life for the most part. It will work out to be within the parameters they are able to live the relatively same lifestyle.
So you've made some really great points so far, and a tricky question for you. Do you feel that it is possible for Canadians to retire on 500,000 or $1 million? What do you think?
Many people want exact numbers when it comes to retirement. Am I able to retire off 500,000 or even a million? The truth is that it's hard to say yes or no to a set amount. Instead of basing their income on 70%, some people also take their ideal yearly income and multiply it by 25. This is based on the average lifespan after retiring being 25, with retirement being 25 years. And not to further complicate things, but there is also another way of calculating this, that it is the 4% rule. This helps to determine how much your retirement accounts you can withdraw every year and not risk depleting the funds. Based on this rule, if you had $750,000 put away for your retirement, you could take out $30,000 a year and live off that for 25 years. This would be the retirement income of the upper middle class who were used to making around $100,000 per year when they were working. So can one retire off $500,000 in Canada? Based on some of these rules, let's calculate what the retirement income would be. The average retirement age in Canada is 65, estimating that $500,000 is to last you 25 years. Your retirement income would be $20,000. This is lower than the average Canadian income. It might be difficult to live off of depending your monthly expenses. However, retiring off $1 million could be substantially more manageable. Given the same principle as before, this would leave you with an annual income of $40,000. Even with inflation, if your expenses align, this would be very manageable income. We can extend this even further and look at what it would be to retire with $2 million. This is an extremely manageable number. Even over a 25-year lifespan, your annual income would be $80,000.
Thanks, Trent. One thing we haven't touched on is government benefits. And for some, that does provide a decent base amount that can provide a supplement to the savings they've done. And I also want to point out that when we use, let's say, the 4% rule, I agree that it can definitely be a helpful guide. But I do like to remind clients that in using that, it assumes that you don't touch the principal. And for many, they do try to leave the principal untouched for the next generation. But for those that may not have that luxury, it's okay to begin drawing down the principal once you're no longer working. There are so many aspects to consider when determining how much income we will need in our retirement, deciding how one's lifestyle will look in retirement, and beginning to plan around that is a great place to start. Then speaking to someone, whether that be a financial planner or portfolio manager, someone who can help you to map out your savings journey and investment objectives would be the next steps. So, to our viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed this edition of Your Wealth Matters. And Trent, thanks for being with us. Bye for now.
Bye bye.